Welcome to the course. This course explains what is Pubsub and how to use it as a developer. So, what is Pubsub? Pubsub is a messaging pattern of Google Cloud Platform for asynchronous communication between applications. It is a one-to-many model, meaning that a single publisher can send messages to multiple subscribers. Here is how Pubsub works. First comes the publisher. The publisher can be anyone or anything. A publisher sends a message to the Google Cloud. The Google Cloud then sends this message to the subscriber or the receiver and then acknowledges. This is simple, right? Now we will understand how the message inside the PubSub traverses. The message from the publisher first goes to the topic. The topic routes the message to all the subscriptions that are interested in that topic. The subscriptions receive the message and process it and send it to the subscriber. The subscriber acknowledges the message and the message gets deleted from the database. It is as simple as that. Now let us understand the different architectures for PubSub. First comes the many-to-one. In a many-to-one PubSub architecture, multiple publishers send message to a single topic. The messages are then delivered to all the subscribers that are subscribed to that topic. This architecture is useful for broadcasting messages to a large group of subscribers. For example, a news organization might use a many-to-one PubSub architecture to send news articles to all of its subscribers. The publishers would be the different news writers, and the subscribers would be the readers of the news website. Then comes one-to-one. In a one-to-one PubSub architecture, a single publisher sends messages to a single subscriber. This architecture is useful for sending messages that are only relevant to a specific subscriber. For example, a customer relationship management system might use a one-to-one PubSub architecture to send notifications to individual customers about their accounts. The publisher would be the CRM system and the subscribers would be the customers. Next comes one-to-many. In a one-to-many PubSub architecture, a single publisher sends messages to multiple subscribers. However, the messages are delivered to each subscriber in a separate stream. This architecture is useful for sending messages that are relevant to a group of subscribers.
Which one to choose between Pubsub and Pubsub Lite? If you need high level messaging with low latency, then Pubsub Lite is the best choice. If you need only one message at a time, then Pubsub is a good choice. If you are a beginner or a new user and on tight budget, then Pubsub Lite is a good choice. In front of you is a reference table for the same. Here is the small tutorial on how a new user can create a new project, a new topic ID, and a new subscription ID or a service account on a Google Cloud platform. So first you need to go to this three dot icon. From here you can see multiple functions of Google Cloud can be accessed easily. We'll go on that testing area. From there we'll create a new project. Like for example, I have already created a new project naming it as testing, and on the right side you can see a specific project ID has been allotted which is unique and you need to use it for the connection between Google Cloud or you can say Pubsub. Now we need to create a new topic ID and a subscription ID. For that, on the search bar of this GCP, we need to search for Pubsub and we need to click on this option, and going to this option we'll find multiple functions like topic, subscription, snapshots and schemas on your left side, right? Clicking on the topic, you can create multiple topics. For example, right here I have created my topic. On going to the subscriptions, we can create multiple subscriptions as needed, and here also I have already created subscription, naming it as my subscription. Now we'll see how we can use Python for making a connection between a Pubsub so that we can use it for our application. This is a Python script for sending a code to the topic. Here you can see two variables, project ID and topic ID, and this data string contains the message. You need to paste your, or you need to write your project ID and topic ID in the variables so that you can make a complete connection between your Pubsub. Now this is the receiving script of Python. Here also you can see there are two main variables, subscription ID and project ID. You need to use your unique project ID and subscription ID for creating a connection, and this code will actually be able to like receive the or whatever the message is sent through the send Python script. You can see here the output of how the sending Python script and the receiving Python script works. I have also attached the Python script for sending and receiving in this PPT.
Now we'll understand what is service account and why we need it. A service account is a special type of Google Cloud account that is used to authenticate applications that run on Google Cloud Platform. Service accounts can be used to access GCP resources such as cloud storage buckets and Pubsub topics. In Pubsub, service accounts are used to authenticate publishers and subscribers. When a publisher or subscriber sends or receives a message, they must use the credentials of a service account. There are two main ways to use service accounts in Pubsub. Grant the service account the appropriate permissions in the IAM policy for the topic or subscription. This is the most common way to use service accounts in Pubsub. Use the service account's credentials to generate an access token. This one is the second point. This is a more secure way to use service accounts in Pubsub, but it is also more complex. Okay, so this is the tutorial of how you can actually connect or make a connection between a Pubsub and how can use Python code and different Python libraries. So this is the tutorial from the beginning, and at the end we'll be like completely able to make a connection between Pubsub. So first of all, whichever folder you are having, right, you just need to create a folder. For example, I have created a Python clone folder. Here I'll write cmd, and now the first step is we need to create a virtual environment, right? So the for creating a virtual environment, we are going to use this and this. First of all, we need to install virtual env. Since I have already downloaded it like using pip install, it's showing me requirement already satisfied. For those who are actually the beginners, on their screen it will show like downloading and completed download, right? Now since I have successfully downloaded this, now we need to create a virtual environment, right, of for the Python. We need to click here, go to cmd, and then we'll use this command, and let us take the name as sample Python. Okay, so you can see our virtual environment naming sample Python is actually in the process of creating, and it's now completed. You can see the folder here, virtual environment has been created. Now we'll go into this folder, and we are first of all we'll clear the windows. After creating a virtual environment, what we need to do is to like activate that virtual environment. Without being activated, this will the code which we are going to write in the virtual environment will not work, right? We need to replace this with the name. So for Windows we need to search for the right way. we'll go and activating. So now we're going to here and write cmd. Then we need to activate the virtual environment which we have created right now. So what we're going to write is name of the folder where we have created the virtual environment. Then we'll write the name and then scripts, then activate, right? So now the virtual environment has been successfully created and also successfully activated. Now what we need to do is for making a connection in Pubsub, first we'll go to Pubsub and GCP. Now what we are going to do is here they have shared a code for downloading Pubsub, right? This is we need to use this one and we'll paste it here. Let's give a enter to see. You can see that the collection and the downloading of the data has been started. Okay, so the like down installation and downloadation has been completed. So what we need to do here is now we'll go to the VS Code, and then we'll select this folder where we have created a virtual environment, and then there we need to create a new folder, for example testing. Okay, so we're sending.py, right? Now sending.py, first of all what we need to do is you go to again to this pubsub and we'll use this code. This code is for creating a topic, right? But if you have already created a topic, then we can use this code for receiving. And 1 minute. Okay, so this code is for publishing a message. Okay, so we need to copy this, we need to go here, we need to save it, we need to change it with our project ID. Okay, so here I'm taking a small example. The suppose my okay, and my topic ID is my topic, right? So I have created this, and my message can be anything, whatever I want. Like for example, I need to write hello, this is for testing, right? This is for testing. So before doing all this, we need to do one thing more. We need to go again to the CMD, and there actually we need to make a authorization login, right? And how to do that is we need to go here and just copy this code and just paste it here. Okay, so now what actually is here is whatever we have created the virtual environment and the Google Cloud we have downloaded using PIP or pip. Now we need to make a authorization login so that the connection can be made successfully using a Python code, right? Now this window will appear in front of you after making a successful password or connection. Then we need to allow it, and boom, you are now authenticated with Google Cloud CLI, right? So now what you need to do is again go to your this, and we need to create one more code which is receiving.py, right? And for receiving.py we need to go here, and again we need to use this code for receiving the messages. Okay, this code will actually receive and show you the results. we need to control and copy here, and you need to take your just go to your console, and whatever the project ID you have created, you just need to like take the ID of that organization, right? Just go to the project and mark your ID and change it here, and similarly you need to do it here also, here project ID, because project ID is the main thing through which actually a connection can be made easier and faster or successful, right? My sub is okay. So how I'm actually getting this subscription ID and topic ID is, just go to here and select this project whatever you have created and go to Pubsub, right? After going to Pubsub, this is my topic which I have created, and when I click it here, this is the subscription which I have created. This is your ID which I have also mentioned here, right? My topic and my sub. Now we'll make a small sample of how the message can be received and sent. So this is a message which I want to send, right? This will actually iterate from 1 to 10 in range, and this code will actually, or this script will actually receive the message, right? So let's run it. Okay, so the message is going 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 times, because it's in a loop. This is just for an example, you can modify according to your need, and boom, the message has been published. Now we'll use this receiving part. You can see the message which I have sent here, hello, this is for testing, actually has been received by me here. Now you can actually make changes according to your project, according to your application, whatever you just want to do. These are just an example of how you can actually send and receive messages using your project ID and subscription ID as well as your topic ID. Now we are going to talk about subscriptions type through which actually a subscriber receives, or gets the messages from the Google Cloud or Pubsub. There are multiple types of subscriptions, but we are going to talk about the main two, the push and the pull. The push subscription is actually the most easiest one, or the explanatory part of this is very easy. So first we're going to start with the pull subscription, right? So pull subscription also has two types of API, the pull and the streaming pull. This is the flow chart or the diagram for the pull request. Okay, so how it works. The subscriber client calls for the pull method, right? Which requests messages for delivery. The subscriber is sending a pull request to the subscription that he wants the message to be delivered. The request is the pull request as shown in the figure, right? The Pubsub server responds with 0 or more messages and acknowledgement ID. The pull subscription actually what it does, like whenever the subscriber actually sends the pull request and the subscription receives it, it immediately sends the whatever the messages it is having in its storage to the subscriber through pull response, and with it also attaches a acknowledgement ID, right? The subscriber client explicitly calls the acknowledgement method. The client uses the returned acknowledgement ID to acknowledge that the message is processed and need not to be delivered again. So I think this is clear that how subscriber sends the pull request, then pull subscription actually sends pull response with the acknowledgement ID. That same acknowledgement ID is actually sent by the subscriber to the subscription, so that this can be assured that the message has been delivered and that message needs not to be stored again, right? Now we'll head towards streaming pool. Okay, so now we'll talk about the streaming pool, which is like similar to pull API of the pull subscription, but a small difference where it has a term called connection quota. So as you can see in the flowchart, the diagram and the flowchart is similar, and the process is also similar. We are just using stream pull API here. Okay, so what it does is, like, if the connection quota is exceeded, right? There is a connection quota in the pull request, which when exceeded, the server returns a resource exhausted error. The client library retries the out of quota errors automatically. If there is no error or the connection quota is available again, the server continuously sends messages through streaming pull response. If or when the throughput quota is exceeded, the server again stops and the messages can't be read by the subscriber. However, the connection is not broken whenever there is sufficient amount of throughput quota available again. The stream resumes by sending the streaming pull response to the subscriber with the acknowledgement ID and the messages. Now we will understand how a push subscription works. Before, we have understood how pull was making a connection and sending messages. Now we'll understand push subscription, right? So in this diagram, you can see actually what happened here is, the subscription or the Pubsub sends each message as an HTTPS request to the subscriber client at a pre-configured endpoint, where whatever the endpoint has been configured, the subscription sends an HTTPS request. The endpoint acknowledges the message by returning an HTTP success status code. A non-success response indicates that Pubsub must resend the message. After making a connection between the HTTPS, acknowledgement has been sent. This response is called the push response. Okay, so what happens here is, when the Pubsub sends a HTTPS request at some endpoint, this through push request, the subscriber needs to send a push response whether the endpoint or the HTTPS connection has been made or not. Pubsub dynamically adjusts the rate of push requests based on the rate at which received responses. Now this request actually contains messages which actually the topic is being sending it to the subscription. It is as simple as that, right?
Okay, so now we'll talk about the difference between the pull and the streaming pull API of the pull subscriptions, right? Like for whom pull is made and for whom or for which user streaming pull is made, right? So both pull and streaming pull are methods of retrieving messages from a Pubsub server, right? The main difference between the two is a single request and response, while streaming pull is a continuous stream of messages. Okay, so what happened here is, with pull, if you talk about the pull API, the subscriber client makes a single request to the Pubsub server for messages. The server then responds with a single message, or if there is no message, then it sends or returns none. With streaming pull, the subscriber client makes a single request that opens a stream to the server, until the quota is not filled or not exceeded, the messages will be sent and received by the subscriber. Okay, now if we talk about pull again, right, it is a good choice for use cases where the subscriber client only needs to receive messages occasionally, whenever a message is not for the continuous purpose, or if a subscriber or a user wants or needs to have to receive a message occasionally, then we use pull, right? And if it is also a good choice for use cases where the subscriber client needs to control the rate at which receives messages. Now if we talk about streaming pull, then streaming pull is a good choice for use cases where the subscriber client needs to receive messages in real time, or we can say live messages, or we can take an example of live messages from YouTube, right? Streaming pull is also a good choice for use cases where the subscriber client needs to receive a large number of messages, or where the subscriber needs to control the rate at which it actually, streaming pull is not a good choice for the area or use case where the subscriber client needs to control the rate at which it receives messages, right? The number of messages being published, if the publisher is publishing a large number of messages, streaming pull may be a better choice than pull, right? If we talk about the latency attribute, the latency requirement, if the subscriber client needs to receive messages in real time, streaming pull is the best or the best choice than pull API. The processing time of the subscriber client, if the subscriber client takes a long time to process messages, pull may be a better choice than streaming pull. Now if we take a reference from the table you can see on your screen, then the pull actually takes, pull and streaming pull, they both take single request, like single request from the subscriber, but there is a difference when it gives a response back. Like pull always takes single and sends single response, whereas streaming pull actually, when it's like a trigger, like whenever a subscriber is actually sending a request, then it triggers out and it starts sending a stream of messages, whatever it is having, right? If we talk about messages received, then at a particular time only one message can be received by the subscriber using pull, and but using streaming pull it can be like until the quota has not been exceeded. If we talk about connection, it is closed after each request, it opens and close after exceeding of the connection quota, right? So it was this was the difference between pull and streaming pull. Actually, the best method for retrieving messages from a Pubsub server depends on the specific needs of the application, but majorly streaming pull is being used.